Visión Comunal, en contacto con las comunidades.
Venezuela in the news. News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Headlines. Venezuela condemns attempts of Argentina, Paraguay, and Brazil in the Southern Common Market. Strategic alliances between China and Venezuela strengthen their productive capacity. Venezuela and Iran analyzed the oil market. An official communique issued from the Venezuelan government condemns the attempts and illegal lies of the governments of Argentina, Paraguay, and the interim of Brazil that intend to sell the infamous statement of Venezuela's failure to meet the commitments of the accession protocol of the Mercosur, signed on July 4, 2006 and entered into force scarcely 4 years ago. In this short period of time, Venezuela has not only complied with a great part of the Mercosur's requirements, but has even equaled and in most cases surpassed other member states. Venezuela has been outstanding in the process of accession to the Mercosur. The document cites further ahead that the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, in plain exercise of the pro-tempore presidency of the Mercosur, will defend this bloc from the attacks against the institutionality committed by its historical enemies that poorly position the Mercosur in its international relations and attempts against its own existence. It became known that the national coordinators of the Mercosur member countries will meet next Tuesday in Uruguay to debate the issue of the pro-tempore presidency held by Venezuela. Uruguayan Foreign Minister Rodolfo Noboa alerted that all members of the bloc owe requirements to comply with the accession protocol. Uruguay owes 52, Argentina and Brazil owe another 50. The government of the Dominican Republic confirmed that the Venezuelan head of state, Nicolás Maduro, will attend to Danilo Medina's investiture as president, scheduled today in that country's capital. The Dominican nation will also receive the heads of states of Ecuador, Rafael Correa, Panama, Juan Carlos Varela, Guatemala, Jimmy Morales, Haiti's interim president, José Priver, Bolivia's Evo Morales, and Honduras' Juan Orlando Hernández. Medina will be sworn as president at 10 a.m. local hour in the National Assembly and will address to the nation. There isn't any formal information of bilateral meetings between the presidents attending the event. More than 400 bilateral agreements were reviewed by the governments of Venezuela and China during the high-level meeting of the Joint Commission's 5th Technical Secretariat held in the Venezuelan capital, where different trade issues were discussed. Vice President for Planning and Knowledge, Ricardo Menéndez, highlighted the level of confidence between both nations in the development of an intense geopolitical agenda to diversify its economy, currently depending on oil revenues. On March, Caracas announced the Chinese interest in extending the primary investment, currently of almost $9 billion, which could make this country Venezuela's main commercial partner in terms of international investments. Last week, an ambitious plan to duplicate the oil shipment to Beijing became known. Currently, more than 600,000 barrels of crude oil is sold by Venezuela to China.
Venezuela in the news.
Colombian and Venezuelan authorities will establish a list of products that will be able to transit and will be for free trade at the area of the border, as confirmed by the Colombian government. The Colombian Foreign Ministry indicated that the crossing will not be allowed to tires for motorcycles and for cars from Venezuela. Also, both governments agreed on the use of a migratory card with a validity of 30 days that must be presented in order to transit the area. Nearly 90,000 people crossed the border through the 5 pedestrian crossing points that were opened in the weekend at the border between both countries. The governments of Venezuela and Iran reviewed the energy issue in Tehran before a meeting that will be held by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries in September, as informed by the National Executive. The Venezuelan Minister of Foreign Affairs, Delcy Rodriguez, met with her Iranian counterpart, Mohammad Javad Zarif, to discuss the energy issue and go over the extensive binational cooperation agenda between Caracas and Tehran. The authorities confirmed the Iranian's foreign minister's tour that will take place soon in Latin America, although the dates were not precise. The government invited the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani to attend the 18th summit of the Non-Aligned Movement next month in Venezuela.
News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Headlines. Venezuela condemns attempts of Argentina, Paraguay, and Brazil in the Southern Common Market. Strategic alliances between China and Venezuela strengthen their productive capacity. Venezuela and Iran analyzed the oil market.
Venezuela in the News. News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Visión comunal, en contacto con las comunidades.